The U.S. presidential race enters a crucial phase as Republican frontrunner Donald Trump edges closer to securing the party's nomination, and time is running out for his rivals.
The Bring Back Our Girls movement, some 2 years and counting now, as the battle to rescue the Chibok girls still drags on.
And there is growing concern over the poor sales of homemade goods in Nigeria, but manufacturers say that is just one of the many challenges. Africa 54 starts right now. Hello and welcome. I'm Vincent McCory of the Voice of America, coming to you from our global headquarters in Washington.
And I'm Adeshawa Joshua, Channels Television here in Lagos. Stay with us in the next half hour as Vincent and I bring you news from around Nigeria, the continent, and the world, only on Africa 54.
Well, Sunday's brazen attack in Ivory Coast, which killed 14 beachgoers, is an attempt by Al-Qaeda to undermine that country's emerging stability. That's according to analyst J. Peter Pam of the Atlantic Council, who says the U.S. and France should do everything they can to help Ivory Coast. The United States condemned the heinous attack and praised Ivorian and French forces for preventing more bloodshed. U.S. authorities say they are prepared to assist Ivory Coast in its investigation and are committed to working with West African nations to fight terrorists who are bent on attacking tolerant and inclusive societies. Well, the U.S. presidential race has now entered a crucial phase as Republican frontrunner Donald Trump edges closer to securing the party's nomination. And with big states like Florida and Ohio holding primaries on Tuesday, time may be running out for Trump's rivals. VOA national correspondent Jim Malone has that story.
Donald Trump continues to dominate the Republican presidential race, but he's taking no chances with the upcoming primaries.
You gotta get out and vote.
Victories in the next few weeks would likely give Trump a stranglehold on the Republican Party nomination.
No matter what's happening, no matter what you're doing, if you get laid off on Tuesday, I still want you voting. I'll get you a new job, don't worry about it.
Trump's straight talk appeal has won supporters from New Hampshire to South Carolina and beyond.
He's wanting to make America great again, and that's what we need.
He may not get to do half of it, but my truth of the matter is, just him saying it and trying suits me.
But Trump has plenty of detractors as well, including protesters who see him as a bully, anti-immigrant, and racially insensitive. Trump has tapped into deep voter frustration and anger, says analyst Henry Olson.
These people who are voting for him have been ignored in their mind by both major parties for 15 to 20 years, and they see somebody who's finally saying, I'm on your side. And they're not necessarily hardcore Republicans, but they're not Tea Party. They're not far right. If they're anything, they're casual conservatives.
Trump's rise has sparked a backlash from the Republican establishment, including the party's 2012 presidential candidate, Mitt Romney.
Donald Trump says he admires Vladimir Putin. At the same time, he's called George W. Bush a liar. That is a twisted example of evil trumping good.
But so far, Trump has gotten the better of most of his rivals in debates, including Senator Marco Rubio.
2/3 of the people who have cast a vote in a Republican primary or caucus have voted against you. They do not want you to be our nominee.
This little guy has lied so much about my record.
There we go, the person.
He has lied so much.
Trump's rivals are running out of time to stop him, says John Fortier.
Donald Trump is the strong leader and the likely nominee of the Republican Party. There are efforts underway of outsiders and the candidates in the race of trying to stop him, but a lot of that looks a little too late.
The March 15th primaries in Florida and Ohio loom as perhaps the last chance for Trump's rivals to derail his march to the nomination. Jim Malone, VOA News, Washington.
Closer to home, the continuing story of the Chibok girls represents the struggle to improve security, education, and equality for women. The hashtag Bring Back Our Girls movement was created almost 2 years ago when the girls were abducted by Boko Haram. Of course, the battle to bring them home has never stopped. We get more from Nicholas Pinot, reporting from Abuja for VOA.
Every day at 5 p.m., the ritual is the same in downtown Abuja. 2,000 people gather near the Unity Fountain, a monument celebrating the Federation of Nigeria States. Even though TV crews disappeared a long time ago, the wheel remains the same for the Bring Back Our Girls movement. Today, March 8th, it has been 694 days since the Chibok girls were kidnapped by Boko Haram militants in the middle of the night. Waziri Bello tells VOA he still believes they will be free.
I still believe that the Chibok girls are alive and they can be rescued. The federal government of Nigeria has the responsibility to rescue each and every citizen that find himself in this situation. The Chibok girls are children of the poor, children that are voiceless in this country, and they need somebody to speak out for them.
Bring Back Our Girls was created to engage Goodluck Jonathan's government to find the girls. Now, the president is Muhammadu Buhari, and authorities say Boko Haram has been degraded significantly. But journalist Eman Usman Shehu has doubts.
The president likes to say that Boko Haram has been technically defeated. I don't buy into that. Yes, Boko Haram has been suppressed in that they don't rampage the way they used to before. But then it is from the history of Boko Haram, we know Boko Haram is always capable of retreating and then coming back in full force.
The fight to free the girls has become broader. It's a woman's issue in Nigeria, according to Bring Back Our Girls spokesperson Aisha Yusufu.
Fighting for the Chibok girls is fighting for the little girl that I was so many years ago, who was crying out and yearning for help, and no help came. And I just knew I can never give up on them.
In few weeks, Bring Back Our Girls will mark a sad anniversary. It will be 2 years since the abduction of the Chibok girls. Only 57 have been released, 219 are still missing. From Abuja, Nigeria, Nicola Pino, VOA News.
Now, the world's women were in focus for last week's International Women's Day. Here in the U.S., there is an organization that is working to empower Maasai girls and women in Kenya through education. We get that story from VOA's Julie Tabo.
I'm going to hold your hand, okay?
Gloria Kotente Mometa is training to be a doctor.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. As a medical student from Kenya, she's learned a great deal in the 8 weeks she's spent in hospitals in and around Washington.
So this is the right kidney?
And she hopes to share that newfound knowledge with her peers back home.
My experience here has been great. The doctors are great. I've got to do a lot of things which I wouldn't have done in my country. I've learned how to use an ultrasound to scan patients. That is a program we don't have in my school, and that's a program I would love to start in the future.
There's a ventilator in the back.
Seeing a young woman receive medical training is not an unusual sight in a large hospital like this, except Gloria is a Maasai, an ethnic patriarchal tribe in Kenya and northern Tanzania in which less than half of all girls attend primary school and only 1% go to college.
A Maasai girl doing medicine in my country is a big deal. And most of the time I get that question, you are Maasai and you're in med school, how did you get here? It's been a great journey for me.
Will you stick that? Gloria's journey began when she learned about the Maasai Girls Education Fund, a U.S.-based organization with offices in Kenya's Kajiado County that provides young Maasai women and girls with scholarships based on need for free education at boarding schools in Kenya. It was founded in 1999 by Barbara Shaw, an American who believed that educating girls will empower them, their families, and their communities and lift them out of poverty.
MGF Barbara song.
Yeah.
Shaw died in 2013, but her daughter, Tracy Piles, is continuing her mother's work.
It started with 2 little girls that she first met while on a photography project in Kajiado district of Kenya and staying among the Maasai in their village.
The number of girls helped by the organization has now grown to more than 150. Gloria is the first to go to medical school and train at Suburban Hospital, where Piles works as an emergency physician.
Someone like this, who has the heart that Gloria has and the desire to go back to her home, and make a difference needs, in my opinion, to be invested in, supported, given every opportunity to make the most, because what she has the chance to do when she goes home is incredible.
The organization has proved that girls who go to school are less likely to be forced into early marriage and other cultural practices.
We have rescued girls as young as 9 who were already married, also from FGM, or female genital mutilation, which is still something that is practiced among the Maasai.
These young Maasai are among the girls who've been rescued from early marriages and are attending school. And thanks to the organization's community programs, attitudes towards young Maasai women are also changing, especially by fathers.
It's only as these girls come back, educated, teachers, doctors, lawyers, that's when they're coming to see the value of educating their daughters.
A good example is Lucy Antea, a graduate of the program who's now its Kajiado office director.
This new generation of Maasai girls who are now getting an education, they are now showing their community that they are bringing a lot of empowerment, and they are showing the community that it is not just about a one-time dowry, but they can do a lot for themselves and for their families and for the country.
It's hard to overcome strong cultural beliefs and ingrained practices, but you're never going to do it by telling people that they're wrong or bad. But by demonstrating and showing people how their own lives can be better, that's the way to affect change.
Gloria Kotente Mometa is back in Kenya now, spending time with her family and friends and completing her 5th and final year of medical school at the University of Nairobi School of Medicine.
For me, being a doctor will just have remained a dream, but now it's a reality. Yeah.
Julie Tabo, VOA News.
Here in the nation's commercial capital, there's growing concern over the poor sales of homemade goods in Nigeria. Lawmakers want to see the implementation of a government-wide first option policy for buying Nigeria products. But manufacturers say local sales are just one of the many challenges. Here's Channels television correspondent Ine Thompson.
Over 2,000 manufacturers, as recognized by the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, make up the real sector. However, in real terms, hundreds of individuals engage in various forms of production of goods that are expected to divert the attention of Nigerians from imported goods, which depletes the nation's economic strength. Some of these individuals engage in making domestic items such as household goods. From experience, they say it has only taken strong determination to hold on for as long as they have.
There are a lot of distractions in terms of NEPA. Power supply is not helping in Nigerian manufacturing.
I don't know why I don't always buy into that argument. Reason being that, yes, of course, we have a peculiar problem in that sector, power and all that. Okay, they're complaining of the high cost of the high running costs, the money they spend on diesel and all that. But the truth is, the big challenge is not the money spent on power generation. The big challenge is the fact that after all they had done to produce a product, you find out that same product is brought in by an importer and sold at a cheaper cost.
This plays up another challenge, which is smuggling, which manufacturers say have thrived in some cases in the face of government policy.
In fact, some of them could not cope. They have to shut down operation. So apart from the funding, which of course, as far as I'm concerned, it was not so much one part of the problems. Because when you say funding, you see, it's not about throwing money at issues. There are other variables, there are other factors that are responsible for the collapse of the industry, for the inability of the industry to survive. So funding is just one out of them. And since government policy that is linked to the funding has not helped the industry in any way, Most of them have to close shop. Of course, they felt it would be nice. You understand? It made business sense for you to actually import.
The obstacles may be numerous, but for lawmakers like Babajimi Benson, there are brighter days ahead, going by the plans of the government.
We're expecting some bills from the executive towards making life and business more enterprising and more attractive to the teeming youth and to fresh graduates from school.
While the government plans to make business and manufacturing conditions in Nigeria more friendly, stakeholders have no choice but to hold on and believe that the expected change will be implemented. Ini Thompson reporting for Channels Television News.
Well, we want to know what you think about Africa 54 and the stories we cover. Join the conversation on Facebook. The address is Africa 54, and check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com. Coming up, South Africa's president pays a visit to Nigeria. A discussion of the significance of Mr. Zuma's trip. That is next after we take a short break. Stay with us.